everyone, this is my Franken Planner. I have talked about this planner last year in 2024, and thankfully, unlike last year where I changed my planner like in February, but this year I have been maintaining very well in my Franken Planner system. So in today's video, I am going to share how I'm using the Franken Planner system as my main planner. So if you're wondering where this cover is from, this is from the Cloth and Paper, and unfortunately they do not have this exact agenda. They have a different type which is much more beautiful, and sadly they don't have this exact one, but I love this because I bought this in the year 2020 if I'm not mistaken. Several years have gone by and I felt like this maintained. It didn't peel or it doesn't look bad at all. It looks still new in my eyes. Yeah, this is the HP Classic size, by the way. So the planner that I'm using is the disc planner type. The ring, I got it from the Happy Planner. I love the system because you can just tear it off and it's so much easier than using a ring binder system. So this is my setup. These inserts here I got from the Cloth and Paper subscription box. It's implementation, commitment, and change. And every time I take a look at it, I want to be inspired, so that's why I put them in here. And furthermore, it looks great. The color is so beautiful, so I just maintained it. And in here, I have some stickers. This dot stickers is for any urgent matters that I need to attend to. I put them on my calendar. And these are other stickers that I use, which I also got from the Cloth and Paper subscription box. So I was subscribed to the Cloth and Paper subscription box for quite some time. And all these inserts, the dashboards and everything is from the Cloth and Paper. Some I obtained from subscription box. Some of the items I bought separately. For example, these tabs are really useful. I will put a link down below if you are interested, by the way. This is a Hobonichi ruler, stencil ruler that I use to mark checkbox. This is really useful and I love this. And I also have a calendar word stickers here, which I use to put it in my monthly calendar. So I just put it in here so that I don't have to go and look around for it. So yeah, that's the very, very simple setup. This is from Ollie Block. I use them to separate my inserts. And this card also I obtained from the Cloth and Paper subscription box. And let's take a look at the tabs. So the tabs that I have in here, I have changed a bit because what I needed for this year changed. So the one I have is annual, goals, monthly, work, budget, and notes. And here on top here, I have a trigger list and also this week section. And down here, I have 4 projects. First, let's take a look at the annual section. So this is a calendar for 2025. I did this calendar and I hope you can actually see this. I don't know whether it's too bright. Yeah, I think that's better. All right. Okay. So this is a 2025 calendar that I made on my own, and I have jotted down the public holidays in yellow circle and the school holidays in purple so that it's easier for us to plan vacation. And I have used some of the Cloth and Paper stickers to indicate that this month has gone by and now we are in the month of April. I like to have this kind of layout because in one look, you can see when is your holidays, when is the public holidays. Previously, when I was working, I used to jot down my salary day as well. So it's easier for me to plan and budget my monthly expenses. So yeah, it's very useful for that. And next is I have this 6 months in one page calendar. So what I use this for is to indicate the most important things instead of looking at monthly section where I have to look in a few monthly pages. I can just have a look of 6 months in here. And I only jot down the most important things. For example, when did the pest control guy came in? and when did the solar guy fixed our solar, and when it got activated, when did we do the aircon maintenance. So all this are indicated in here because those things are the one which I tend to come and look at and see when it was done so that I can do the relevant follow-up, or after 6 months I can call for the aircon maintenance. So these kind of recurrent stuff, I like to put them in here so that it's easy for us to refer. Because so many times I have realized that my husband tend to ask, when did we last fix our aircon? And I have to go through a lot of the monthly pages, and my monthly pages, like, it's a casual calendar and you can't really see in particularly where it is, and it's kind of filled with information. So having this is perfect to just look at the most important things in this kind of style. This is also available in my shop, so do go and take a look at it. For your information, I have uploaded the HP Classic size currently, and I will be uploading in other sizes. If you want to be updated in my upcoming inserts, you can subscribe to my newsletter, which I will be informing when these inserts are going to be downloaded. Okay, now moving on. This is my goals section. I have done this insert called Conquer Your New Year worksheet. What many of us do is we tend to just move on to the new year without even thinking about what we have done in the past year. For us to have a better understanding of ourselves and for us to have a good year, we need to look at what was the biggest winning and what made you happy, what made you sad, and what is your priority for the following year. What are you going to focus on the following year? So all these things need to be answered before you go through the new year. So that's exactly what this worksheet is all about. And I have done and answered a few questions about myself by reflecting my achievement, the challenges, and based on that, I also take a better look on my personal growth, my career, health, relationships, and finances. So after answering all these questions, I began to understand that for 2025, what are the core values that is important to me? Based on the answers that I have given here, I came up with some SMART goals, and I have expanded my goals based on my career, my personal growth, health and wellness, and finance. And that's how I created my goal for this year. Yeah. So while I was doing this, I thought all these questions that were asked, I can answer like in a day. But truthfully, I was having trouble answering them because I felt, wow, that is a very deep question and I have to really think about it and answer them. And in fact, while I was doing all this exercise, I remember some things that I need to go and add on to the first page, reflection on the previous year. So don't think that reflecting is a simple job. In actual fact, it is not, because it really goes deeper and a lot of painful questions that needs to be answered. Sometimes I even felt that, you know what, I didn't achieve anything. I was a failure. I thought like that. But the more I answer, I realized, nope, I did achieve something. These are my achievements. That is not a failure. Achievement is not only in work, but what you have achieved within your family. Maybe you have strengthened your relationship. Just in case you're interested to do this exercise as well, I will link this insert on this video itself. Go ahead and take a look at it. And I know some of you may struggle, so I do have a Facebook group as well, so that if you have any questions, you can come there and ask your questions, and we will help you to realign your goals and take a deeper look into how you want to turn your life and your future for the better. This is my personal vision and goals based on roles that I have created on my own. I did this in 2023 or 2024, I can't remember. I think it was last year. But I decided to keep this because I have written my vision for my content creator, as a business owner, as a spouse, as a mother, and as a daughter and daughter-in-law. These are the roles that I play in my life. And by rereading these visions, it reminds me on what I really want in a goal or what truly matter in my life. So if you often feel like you are deviating from your current role, purpose, it would be advisable for you to do a personal vision and goals for yourself as well, so that you can read and remind yourself that, you know what, as a content creator, this is what I expect, this is what I want. And as a spouse, this is what I'm going to focus on. As a business owner, this is what I am planning to achieve and what I'm planning to get in future. These kind of things, you can keep reminding yourself these are your visions. So that is the most important thing when you want to achieve your goals. You need to repeat these things into your brain so that eventually you will be able to focus on what really matters based on the roles that you play in your life. All right. So I also decided to put the 2023 goals in here because I want to differentiate my achievement based on 2025, whether I moved forward or not. So it's good to have them as a reminder for myself. And next is based on the exercise that I've done in my goals section, I have included them as a list in my goals list. Many people have so many goals, but it is really advisable for you not to have more than 5 goals. And you need to ensure that all the 5 goals cannot be a heavy goals. For example, I have my YouTube and my digital shop goals. These two are very heavy and requires a lot of my attention. And for the personal health, wellness, and finance, it is something personal. So they are lightweight compared to these two. If you have heavy goals, then it's advisable for you to have only 2 or 3. 3 is really pushing it, by the way. It will take up a lot of your energy. So be very careful when you're setting your goals. So based on these goals, I have set up my goal map. In my goal map, I have goal title and description, my big why, and my action plan, my milestones, and reward and reflection. So I look at this goal map every time I do my monthly planning and my weekly planning. So having this action plan is very good so that I will be able to plan my month better. So this is for my health. I realized that for my health, I need to have some sort of habit tracker. So I used my sticky note and habit tracker stamp, and I just stamped it in here. So next section is trigger list. I had the idea of having a trigger list based on David Allen's list. But when I take a look at the David Allen's list, I realized that some of it, I felt like there were too many things in there. And that list does not really work with me. So I decided to make my own trigger list, and based on what's happening in my life, what is the recurring task, and in home and family, in my content creation, business and digital products, personal growth and wellness, and one-offs and occasional stuff that comes up in my life. When I'm doing my monthly planning or my weekly planning, when I take a look at the trigger list, okay, weekly content, my YouTube, Instagram, and blog, it makes sense to me. And my meal planning and batch cooking. Oh, I have to discuss with my mother-in-law, and I need to decide what are the days I'm going to cook. So all these things really make sense to me. Trigger list is very helpful because you can't be keeping everything in your mind, in your brain, right? So that's why the trigger list is really important. So next is the project section. Project is something that I always take a look at. So that's why I have it as one of the main tab. And this is the entire project list that I'm currently active on. And one is my shop and my designing inserts. And these are the tasks. So here's the thing. Project is a big thing, right? Tasks also can be considered as project, but tasks are mini project. So that's why I also included them in here, so that I know that these are the mini tasks that I need to complete as well. So by having this list page, I know that these are the projects that are currently in progress. And it also helps me to take a look at the number of projects that I am active on. Let's say I have all 10 projects in here, which is really I'm active on, then I know that I am putting my feet in too many things and I have to drop a few so that I can concentrate on only these particular projects. And I know that at work, you will have a lot of projects. I had project as well when I was working, and the project list helped me to see how many things that I was active on and what are the urgent things and what I need to focus on and what I can drop later. So the project list helped me to see those things. This is my project page. So I have a code here. So the P1, so that's why the code P1 is here. So it's very easy for me to take a look at. So my project list, I have name, objective, and start and end date. And I have a 12-week Gantt chart like in here so that I would be able to plan better by quarter. So for this project is my digital shop. I have put it in by phase like pre-launch, launch, marketing, and uploading product expansion. So as for each phase, this phase I gave 12 weeks, and for this phase I gave another 12 weeks, and this phase is 12 weeks. So what I do is, although I put the 12-week in here, I write down the beginning of the date of that particular week, and I begin to mark off those once the job task is completed. So for the next launch, I added another section and I can continue November and December. And for this is also I continue on November and December. And currently I am focusing on uploading product, which I'm planning to expand. I am doing it in April, May, and June. So I just write the month, and then I will be writing down the date for each of the week. So it's easier for me to make the plan. And at the back, I can continue. What I did was I just put a dot. So I know that this project and this project are together. And here's the thing. Since project is really big, and once I finish up this page, I can add a new project insert here, and I can continue and I can write the code as ... 1, and I know that it is related to the P1 project. So it's very easy for me to monitor the project and what have done, what have not done, and all. I love the style of project tracking in paper because I avoid all the distraction that is caused by digital stuff. So that's why I prefer it to be on a pen and paper kind of thing. So let me know if you want to know more on how I'm handling my projects. Probably I'll make a separate video on that. So this is for my second project. And this is my task map. So task, as I mentioned, it's a mini project. So I have 2 task table in one page because it is short and you require lesser action that needs to be done for a task that is mini project. So in here, there's a task title, what is the outcome that I expect from here, and start and end date, and the breakdown of the task. For example, this is my Japan travel journal that I wanted to complete. So the first thing is I need to collect the receipts and the pictures, and I put it in a separate album or something. So I have a due date, I have a status, and I have a notes. I also have a tracker in here so that I know how much it's progressing, and as it goes closer and closer, I know that task is moving. Like this task, I haven't even started yet. I know that this task has been planned, but I have not done anything yet. So every time I take a look at my project list, I know that these tasks that I am active on, which I have not moved yet. So it's a great way of planning your project and your mini project in this way. Next, let's take a look at the monthly section. Before that, let me tell you about my ideal week. So the ideal week is something that I plan for myself because each day I have a theme that I work on. Monday is writing, Tuesday is filming, editing, designing, and catch up, and I do my review on Sunday. So I have separated my work blocks, and in those work blocks, what are the things that I have to do? I have wrote it down here so that I know exactly what needs to be done in that particular day in that week. If I don't write them down, sometimes when I come and sit on my table, I am completely blank. But when I take a look at this and I read this and it triggers, oh yeah, I have to do this. Oh yeah, I have to do that. So that's why I have this section as my ideal week. I also have for home, and I also have for lesson because I do teach my daughter. So it's a good way of reminding yourself what are the tasks that you are supposed to do in a day so that you can really utilize your time efficiently. Now, this is my monthly section. This is my monthly overview. I have 8 boxes in here. And what I did was I used the Happy Planner stickers to put in these 3 stickers. And these are the goals that I will be concentrating on January. So this section I use for goals, and this section I pre-plan all the tasks that I'm supposed to do in that particular month. So I like this because in a way, it's like I have already planned all the weeks. I don't have to think about it. It makes my brain lighter because I know that, oh, it's already in there and I know it will get done. So if you want to know more on how I use my monthly and weekly plan, I will put a link up here so that you can go and take a look at that. So this is my monthly calendar, and it's also my catch-all calendar. Everything I list them in here for my reference. Okay, and this is vertical hourly calendar, which I use to pre-plan my week. This is how I block my time and do the task that I have planned in here. I love this method because it makes my life easier because I have already pre-planned my entire week. And when the day comes, I just have a look in here and I will plan my day based on what I have written in these sections. So more on my February. So once again, I only focused on 3 goals. This is March. My catch-all calendar again. As I mentioned earlier, my catch-all calendar looks messy. That's why I needed the annual calendar section to pinpoint important dates that I have to remember. Up here are empty boxes, right? So these are the boxes that I use to jot down the task that I'm supposed to focus on that particular day. And these are the items that I pick and put in my daily planner. And this is my daily planner, which is also my wallet, my pocket planner, and everything. So that's how I plan my day. I will put this in a separate video, but I do have a previous video which I will link up here if you're interested. Okay, for each week, I do my weekly review because I want to know what works and what doesn't work. I have not done the monthly reflection for the month of March, but I will be doing later. I do these reflections to understand better whether or not that week was a win and was it a failure, my biggest win, what I did learn, what were the distractions, what worked and what did not work, what action that I can do to improve. So this is a reflective thing that I'm doing so that I become better at my process, at my system, at whatever I'm doing. I will be able to see and avoid any mistakes in future. So I love my weekly review and monthly reflection section. My previous 2 months I didn't do because in December I lost my father, and in January we lost my brother-in-law, my sister's husband. So things were really tough and it was very difficult for me to do even planning and also any review because my mind was cluttered. And I was not able to plan very well and I could not think very well. Truthfully, March is the month where I begin to get involved back to my normal self. And I was able to plan and start concentrating on my work as a content creator. And that's when I began to start doing my weekly review. And for the monthly reflection, I will be doing it later after I'm done with this video. So this is for the month of April. I've already planned my April month and I've set up my calendar, and also my week is planned as well. Next section is my work section. My work is my content, publish content on Instagram, on Thread, on my YouTube Short. So there are a lot of things that I do, and I need a place to see what are the things that I am going to post, and I don't want it to be repeated. So in order to have a visual look, I made this content calendar, and I prefer to think on paper. I don't like to do it digitally. My brain dump, usually I do it on paper to avoid any sort of distraction. And that's why I made this insert. What are the topics that I want to write about? And that's how I expand my ideas in this section. So that is for my work. And status report is more like the content that I've thought about and created is like an acronym for the status of my content. So C is for concept, R is for rough draft, E is for execute, assemble, tweak and tag, engage, and done. So I just do this to keep track of what is the progress of that particular content. But this is just a trial which I'm doing. So far, I am still experimenting on this. So that's why I put it in here. I haven't started for April yet. That's why it's blank. And next section is budget. Previously, I took it out and then I realized that I hate reaching out to a separate planner. I prefer everything to be in here. So I will be moving my budget section in here. I have not done that yet. I will be doing it later. And then this is the notes section. So notes section is pretty much everything that is miscellaneous stuff. It all goes in here. And these are just blank papers that I use to take down some ideas or anything that comes in my mind or any important thing that I want to refer later. I will write them down at the notes section. So finally, this is a folder that I have. So I put some important documents in here, documents that I want to refer later. And this is more notes section. So I just put it in here. So that's it for this video. The inserts that I have mentioned in here are all available in my shop. I will put the link to my shop down at the description box below. If you have any questions, leave your question at the box below. And if you want to see how I'm planning daily, you can also follow me at the Instagram, Hitch and Hitched. And my upcoming video is going to be about my daily planning, which is this pocket planner that I use every day. So if you're interested, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so that you will be notified on all my upcoming videos. And that's it for now. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in next video. Bye.